See if this thing works here. Reload. How do I find myself? Live now. Click it. How's everybody doing? Let's see here. Oh yeah. All set up. Should see my setup here. Maybe I'll give you a little preview of my setup here. I got both of these on a step ladder. This is the good one. Got that covered up. This is my workshop one. I don't care what happens to this one. That's just for moderating. For some reason, I can't moderate from this one. But we learned that, one of the last ones. Yeah, there we go. Got dust in my hair. How you guys doing? I really don't know why or what I signed on to do. I know what I'm supposed to be doing, but I think I'm just kind of procrastinating. First time tuning in, Fred. You're in for a show. That's all I gotta say. Oh boy. Tonight I got some G2 low sugar Gatorade Thirst Quencher Cool Blue. Happy to see I broke 100,000. Thank you. Yeah, I did that middle of January. Have a drink, the show get better. There's this misconception that I delete the live streams because I like to drink rum and talk till the sun comes up. The thing is there's the business of YouTube. If I keep that as an active video, there's no way I'm going to get 20, 30,000 views on a 9-hour live stream. So that hurts me when sponsorships approach me and say, what are your average views per video for the last 30 days? So if I have a live stream up that's only getting 6,000, 7,000 views, that hurts the overall monthly average. So they got to go. You notice I just got rid of, what is it? The Handy Andy one. How not to use a chainsaw. That's unlisted now because it didn't get very many views. It kind of stalled out around 7,000. Got a lot of new tools coming. Actually, I had a whole bunch come today. They're hidden over there behind the air compressor. The good ones, the one I'm really looking forward to, comes Sunday. Yep. Where's that thing at? Finally, gonna get this little gadget hooked up and plumbed. I've got the hoses, the diverters, the blast gates coming. This here, my dad gave me this shop vac. It's a 6 horsepower Sears Craftsman. It sucks like crazy, but it's like a jet airplane taking off. I think that is going to go underneath that leaf of the table saw, and I'm only going to run 3. One goes to a 4-inch port underneath the table saw. One's going to go over to the chop saw. Then I'm going to have one big loop that comes up and kind of hangs down here for my sander, my random orbital sander. I should fill a PVC with concrete for strength. I must have missed the first part of that. Jimmy, would you recommend a 1-inch black pipe or a 2-inch PVC pipe? For a stripper pole in my bedroom. You got to go with stainless steel. You got to keep that thing clean. Got to keep it polished. You need ball bearings at the top and the bottom so it spins real good. I don't have whiskey eyes. I have sleep-deprived eyes, if anything. Yes, I should install a stripper pole right here, right out of the workbench. Oh, that's funny. That's funny. That's the reason I did this, is that you guys crack me up. Yeah, hooking up this stuff. There is so much dust in here. I've been sweeping and cutting. I mean, I am swamped in scrap wood from 2 years worth of projects. I've got a whole bunch of stuff cut up over here. And come Monday, what I haven't found a use for tomorrow and Sunday, I got to take to the dump. I got to get it out of here. You know those, I don't know where I got these foam boards, these 1 3/4 inch, 2-inch foam boards. They were mostly in that room. But what did I do with them? I got them put up in there. And I started, hold on, let me see, I can move this around a little bit. I got them up in there too, just trying to insulate that. I got to fill those little holes in up there, but I don't want to get too close to the fireplace. Got the fireplace going. Those of you who didn't miss the Instagram post, I got a new ceiling fan. You wouldn't be, it's probably 85 to 90 degrees, 12 feet up there. So what I got that pushing the air down. And right now at about 7 feet, it is 77 degrees. So it's quite comfortable in here. It's probably only in the high 30s outside. Fred, you still talking about the stripper pole? Sorry, I haven't been paying attention. Yeah, the dust deputy, it's probably going to be to get the shop vac and this all hooked together. I think I'm going to start out just running it on top of a 5-gallon bucket, getting the lid, cutting the hole in it. Eventually, I know I will upgrade to it like a garbage can with the lid on it. Actually, you got to really seal those up, the garbage can with the lid. So we'll start out small and see where it goes from there. Does the ceiling fan blow insulation dust down? No, that fiberglass is pretty well stuck together. I just have the craft face, you can see the paper face facing down. The dust topper from Home Depot is much easier. It pops on a 5-gallon bucket. The dust topper, is that different than the lid, the orange lid that you can get? You guys are cracking me up. My garage, I have a garage that's attached to my house that my wife's cars are in. My truck won't fit in there. Out here, if I'm not at someone's house and I'm not editing videos, I'm out here. Been dragging my feet on this one, but oh, you guys can't even see. Let me bring you over here. Been building these pull-out drawers. I got one over there. I got to build another one. So it'll be 4 drawers here, 4 drawers on the other side. Just going through all my scrap, trying to find this one here. Dug that out of that room. This is going to provide the bottoms. They're 24 by 18 inches wide, the bottoms of the drawers. Hoping to get 4 bottoms out of there. And I've got another piece of OSB that I'll use for a bottom if I have to. Have you ever done government contract work? State governments, one federal funded job. Hey, Tennessee Builds, how you doing? Someone asked the question, where am I? Have you tried to build drawers in your truck? Oh, like the slide out drawers. I haven't. I had a truck long time ago that was a long bed truck that I strictly worked out of, and I had a shelf. It was huge. It was a long bed. I had the fiberglass cap on it, 2 levels, and a lot of Tupperware bins. Never got to the point of building the long drawers that come out. Reading a question here. Would you ever consider using drywall mud on old school concrete board for patchwork? It's the old stuff with the wire screen in it. Thank you. I think you might be referring to lath and plaster. The metal screen is usually in the corners, and I use I use joint compound on everything. I don't use plaster at all. Well, I wouldn't say that. I have used plaster, but setting compound, I mean, there's really no reason not to use setting compound. That stuff, it sticks and it gets hard as a rock. Oh, someone asked about a Wallabout review. I have filmed me testing out the Wallabout that I bought, and I didn't have a full, I wanted to test it out on a more modern foundation wall, like a large area. Because what I had filmed was a small section in the back of a utility room. You're supposed to be able to find rebar. So I said, you know, I'm just going to hold on to this footage, and next time I'm in a modern unfinished basement, I'm going to take it and see if we can find rebar. Then, out of nowhere, 2 days ago, Wallabout sends me an email. I don't know if it was, anyways, they asked me to be a beta tester for a beta app. Same device that plugs into your phone, but a beta tester for the lath and plaster option. And you know what? Most of my video footage is just trash talking the Wallabout because it doesn't work on lath and plaster. And you really don't need a full-on like sonar X-ray device to find studs in, you know, modern half-inch drywall. I just tap on it. I find it like all the time. It's so easy to find studs in modern drywall, and I need it for lath and plaster. So there's a lot of part of the video that is me just saying this damn thing is useless. It's twitching and stuff. But apparently they now have a beta tester app. Basically, they said in the next 24 hours, my Wallabout DIY app will update and I'll be able to access lath and plaster. Well, it just so happens that the house I'm working on is all lath and plaster. Coincidence? I don't know. Maybe they got, I don't know why. But I'll probably plug it in tonight. I got to find it first. I think it's in that room. Plug it in and see if it's updated. And if there's a lath and plaster option now. What else got? No drink this time? Boo. I guys think I drink a lot. I've done maybe 4 or 5. That's like 4 or 5 nights out of the year that I say, you know what? I'm just going to go out and drink with the guys on YouTube. So I don't drink that much. It would be cool if it worked. Big time. Really big time. Because this kitchen, I'm putting a beadboard on the ceiling. And what I got to do is I think I'm going to glue and nail nailer strips to put the beadboard on. But it would be nice not to have to like guess, measure to get, because the nailer's got to get nailed with like a 15 gauge brad nailer through the nailer, through the plaster, into the roof truss system. The beadboard, the tongue, you can't use a 15 gauge brad nailer. It'll blow it apart. So you need to glue it and pin it in with either a 16 or an 18 gauge nail. So So that's the reason that I'm going to have to put the nailers up, glue the nailers up with a good solid, are they in here? I don't think they're in here. 15 gauge brad nail. And it would be nice to use that Wallabot on the ceiling and, mark out my lines of where I'm going to nail in the nailers. Good question. Rudy, I'm doing my kitchen, wanted to install wooden countertop. Have you ever done anything like that? If so, any tips? Yes. Butcher block countertop. You can make your own or you can buy it. It's very common to buy it from IKEA. And I did one, I don't know, it was a while ago. It was actually my next door neighbors of my rental house. So installs, you just cut it, just like a board, install it. But what they wanted to do was use the butcher block as a backsplash. So I don't know, I had scrap. I had about a 4 or 5 inch rip of the butcher block. They were vertical. I think it was vertical. So I don't know if I glued it. I didn't glue it. No, I did glue it. I didn't screw it. So I glued the butcher block backsplash on. And you have to oil that stuff, especially if you live in a dry climate. So in the middle of the night, the glue snapped because the top edge was able to dry and the thing wanted to bow up like this. And it made like a loud gunshot bang in the night. Next day, I just manually screwed it and re-glued it from the bottom, and it's still there today. The neighbors, I still know the neighbors that live next to my rental house, and it was like 5 years ago. Just keep it oiled. Keeping it oiled is the way to go. Let's see here. Kevin Miller, I love this topic. As a self-employed contractor, do you invest for retirement? If so, how? Yes, heavily. You have to. God, we could talk about money all night long because I've got a couple videos out there that I put up on purpose. It really isn't clickbait, but man, does it trigger some people. The $20,000 bathroom remodel gets, I don't know, I could look it up, how many hundreds of comments, evil comments a week about people saying, I had a guy today on the other channel says that around here for a full bathroom remodel with a new shower, the labor is only $1,000. I'm like, that's slave wages. Might as well go work at McDonald's or Home Depot. Because that by the time you get done saving for, everything, you're at minimum wage for $1,000. It's crazy talk. But what do I invest in? I don't know. We've got a couple. My wife and I both have a couple financial managers. We have taxable accounts, which is basically the stock market and mutual funds. We have the retirement account that we each put in the maximum amount. It used to be like $5,700, and then something about Trump's plan raised that amount that you could put in there. It lowers your taxable income. So we max out. Both of us max out whatever that is, IRA, Roth IRA, something like that. But yeah, you have to invest when you do hard manual labor. You can't do this. Yeah, Roth. Someone asks this question every time, and someone always corrects me. The Roth IRA, yes, we max that out every year, both of us. We also pay down our mortgages, 2 mortgages. Pretty soon they're going to be paid off. Kind of crazy. So yeah, pretty much standard stuff. But if you're only charging $1,000 to remodel an entire bathroom, there's not much left over to plan for your future. Why can't you charge for materials? I don't know what you mean by that, Turner. That's an awesome accomplishment to pay off multiple mortgages. It is. I'll be honest. Having a dual income and being pretty frugal makes it pretty easy. Let's see here. Dude, you're self-employed. You can't get a solo 401, or you can get a solo 401k, which lets you put in up to $56K a year. You can also self-direct it. I follow you. I just not that educated in it. That's why I have the dude at Edwards Jones that I say, hey, well, I got some money. Where should I put it for the type of goals that I have? We're covered once we hit retirement age. Our current goal is early retirement, and what money are we going to live off between early retirement and like 65 when all the other retirement comes in? Now here's a good question. Any advice on matching odd drywall texture? I'm having no problems with my patches, but I'm having issues matching textures perfect. I feel like I need some texture theory. Oh boy, what do we got going? Hold on. Got something going on the old cellular over here. Uh-oh. Oh, geez, I got a whole bunch of text messages. Check those out in a minute. Theory on how to do knockdown. Oh, knockdown texture. First of all, setting expectations to the customer is number one. That it's a repair, and you're doing it. You're trying to match a machine that shot all the knockdown on there. So you got to set expectations with your customers. And I've got pretty darn good results. Knockdown and orange peel are the easiest to match. I always primer the repair before I spray the knockdown because it will absorb and dry differently if there's paper and joint compound. So the whole patch repair, don't say patch, you got to say something nice to customers, repair. Whole repair has got to be primered so it's got an even dryness so that when you drag your knife over it, it's getting knocked down evenly. That's been a big help for me, is always primering before you spray and do the knockdown. I need to install a doggy door, but I broke my grinder. Do you have any tips? I'm guessing this is a steel door, steel skinned door. Foam core. No, a carbide blade on that vibrating tool will buzz right through that steel skin door. A metal blade on a jigsaw, drill holes in 4 corners, metal blade on a jigsaw. You got enough flange on the doggy door to cover up any jagged edges. I don't think I've used a grinder on a steel skinned exterior door. All right, someone asked that. Let me scroll down here. I gotta. Where's my freaking thing here? Here we go. There we go. Jesse, hey man, the vent pipe in my house runs through my closet. Is there a way to move it? Thanks for all your help. Is that your let me scroll back up. Jesse, is that your 4-inch like main stack, or is that a sink stack? Cast iron or ABS? Either way, it can all be relocated. It's not a fun job. Yeah, someone said not unless you want to melt the foam core. Yeah, I don't think I would use an angle grinder to cut a door. Have you ever considered flipping houses? Flipping houses, that ship has sailed. Even though you still see it on TV, and people still are clinging to life to try to say that there's some pro flipper. It's not really practical in my market. We'll just go with that. Thoughts on popcorn ceilings? Get rid of them. I've got an entire house with vaulted ceilings that are popcorn that I'm going to be tackling this spring and summer. Just going to do like one room at a time. It can be easy to get overwhelmed. Hello. I'm kind of on the internet right now. Huh? Yeah. Yep. Skip this one. Okay. Bye. Jeez, interruptions. Sorry about that. Okay, I just looked up here. Harbor Freight sprayers, good or bad? Shoot, I don't even know. I don't know yet. I got to find that one because I'm going to test it out. I really don't know where the heck I put it. I think it's somewhere over there. I got these cabinets, but they got doors on them, and I forget where I put things. Kind of on the internet, yeah. I will let you know if I get that purple Harbor Freight sprayer to work. I watched some videos on YouTube. They said the first thing to do is break it down, clean all the grease out of it, the shipping grease from China. I did that. I put it all back together, and I was getting a good spray pattern, but then it would go pss, 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 pss. It didn't matter what. Oh, let's see here. We got to ban somebody already. Goodbye. Sorry, I had to ban somebody. So, and that was with water and paint. I was getting that same spray pattern. So I'm going to take it apart again, clean it, put it all back together, check all my gaskets, and see if I can get that pattern. Do you tape your joints when laying tile? Like laying it on the floor, I've never taped backerboard joints on the floor. Do you grout or caulk your tile shower corners? I've always caulked them with the siliconized sanded caulk that is matched to the grout. So at the tile store, they'll have a whole section of grout, and they'll have a whole section of caulking that goes with it. Who's telling me to buy decent equipment, stop being cheap? I've got a couple. I think he's referring to the Harbor Freight sprayer. Yeah, I can buy a $200, $250 paint sprayer. But a lot of people are interested in what that like $16 Harbor Freight paint sprayer will do. So I said, you know what? I'm going to buy one and see how I can get it to work. Man, someone's on a train in Manhattan watching me. That's pretty cool. Not my name asked, is there a technique when sanding your finish coat on drywall to make sure it's flat? Feather it out, whatever, if it's a patch or if it's a seam. I feather it out. Geez. The more you float it out, the smoother it's going to look. Use fine sandpaper. Use a block, not just your hand. If you're trying to do a level 5 finish, you roll that stuff on. You have to roll the whole wall. Rarely have I ever seen level 5 finish. And when I do see it, I see every seam. That's the reason why a lot of people don't choose to do a full level 5 flat wall. Someone's sharing their experience with Harbor Freight tools. Do you like Hitachi framing nailers? I love my Hitachi framing nailers. It got stolen. So I went to Home Depot and bought a real cheap. I don't think it was cheap as in the quality. It was affordable pneumatic framing nailer. I actually lent that out, and now I use the DeWalt. Which one do I use here? I use this one exclusively now. I don't know if I would go frame a house with it, but it works for what I do. Here's a good question. Brad, his dad charges $40 an hour in Central Ohio. Would you agree he should charge more for his time and his work? It's really about, you have to do your own budget and your cost of living. There are certain areas where the market will only allow a certain price. I never charge by the hour. My customers never know how much I make. They don't know what I make. They just see one lump sum. They don't know how much of that is labor, how much of that is materials, how much of that is overhead, how much of that is my vacation fund. That's probably the number one thing, is don't work by the hour. But if you're doing real iron work, doorknobs, just general home repairs, maybe you can only do hourly. But I wouldn't, after all my overhead and taxes, I wouldn't be able to survive off $40 an hour. But I set real high financial expectations for myself. A lot of people could easily live comfortably off of a take-home of $20 an hour. Paul Thomas, what is a level 5 finish? Level 5 finish is a smooth, flat wall on the inside of a house or building. What do you say when they ask what you make? No customer has ever asked me, what's your take of this? You give me a bid for $20,000. How much do you make? No one's ever asked that. Someone, Matt S., do you have any other nailers besides the framing? I have every single one. I've got the frame, the stapler. I have 4 of them. Stapler, 15 gauge, 18 gauge, the stapler, and the framer. I have 4 total. Someone asked, today, do you make more from YouTube or your handyman services? I don't know. These are real slow months. January, February, March for ad revenue and all marketing campaigns. I mean, it's nice side income. Soon as December 23rd hit, the YouTube income went down by about 50 to 70%. And then it slowly builds up and goes absolutely crazy. Starting in September, it's creeping. October, it's creeping. November and December, next November, December, you're going to see me put out a video every single day. Every single day, 60 days straight, November and December. It's kind of ridiculous. Someone asked, you bought the stapler. What do you use it for? That 1/4-inch crown stapler. I don't use it that often, actually. Trying to remember. It makes a good size hole. It does have a really good grab, especially those greenish yellow coated ones. Those have it's like a glue coating. So when they shoot in, they heat up and that glue bonds to whatever you're shooting it in. Who says never seen you paint walls? Do you avoid that? I guess on my larger remodels, I don't paint. The big one that I just finished, there was a painting contractor that painted the entire inside of the house. That's not something I'm signing up for. That's just, it's crazy. It's very labor intensive. 60 days of content starting November 1st. Wait. Leon. Who asked what? Someone said great question, but I'm trying to find it. Ask it again. Best stud finder. That's my go-to. Is back of my hand using my knuckle. But it doesn't work on lath and plaster walls. So hopefully the Wallabout DIY actually works with their new update. Here's a good question. Need to replace a section of 1/4 round molding, but don't have a nail gun. Any thoughts? Caulking, silicone caulking, any adhesive caulking will work great. You just gotta jam a stick up. If it's on the wall, on the ceiling in the corner, put a stick up there or something. I use these red poles here a lot. I'll probably put these suckers to use when I do that beadboard ceiling. You could also use a hammer and a nail and a nail set. You guys reading these jokes in here? X Omp. My stud finder is broken. Every time I walk by it, it goes off. It's because you're a stud. Bing. Patched a couple drywall holes in knockdown finish. Oh, it's on the floor? You could just caulk it in and, I don't know, put a boot up against it or a bucket with something in it. It'll glue in there. A lot of times on bullnose corners, you got to cut those 22.5 degrees, and those little ones that go right on the corner, if you shoot a nail through that, they'll blow apart. I just squirt it with caulking and push it right in. It'll come out. Oh, Mark Schmitz. I use that canned knockdown quite a bit. There's different thicknesses of knockdown. Heavy knockdown where there's like big blotches like this, and then there's some blotches like that. I always put it in a sink of hot water because I want that pressure good. And there's little levers on it for heavy and the pressure. Mess with that. Clean the tip a lot to keep the pressure and keep the spray pattern clean. Go in circles. Feather it out into the existing texture. And I have the wide one, the knockdown thing, but you can also use like a 12-inch knife and just keep it, like if this is the wall, you got to keep a real shallow angle when you lightly drag it over. Says, do you mask off the area you're doing a small patch, say a 4-inch by 4-inch? I'll mask off maybe 2 or 3 foot section, but not. Those tape lines will show. You got to have that spray blend out, and then I'll like take a rag or the palm of my hand and kind of just feather the outside a bit, kind of smush it in. And then knock it down before or after. Someone asked, have I ever done a portico? Portico? I don't know what that means. Portico. Yeah, notice you don't flip the circuit breaker switch when adding dimmer switches or adding electrical outlets occasionally. Why not? Save time. If it's like one switch or one outlet, I usually don't, to save time. But if I'm going to replace all the receptacles in a certain house, there's a whole house, I'll flip the breakers off because it's faster to do it that way. If it's a light switch, I just turn the light switch off, and it kills the power. Where did you start learning your skills? From birth. It started from birth. Tool set as a kid. My dad had converted our garage into a workshop. He had a side business of remodeling kitchens, custom Formica countertops. That was the rage back in the 80s. Nobody was getting granite or quartz in the 80s. You're getting your custom Formica countertop with the oak edge and a bevel on it. And I mean, it just escalates from there. The Googler, hi, first time in my chat. Welcome. Feel free to ask a question. It is kind of soothing in here, isn't it? The dimmer, I don't know if you guys remember, these are commercial lights, these big ones up here. Let me point this thing here. That thing there is meant to go in a warehouse. And you can't just throw it. Oh, hold on. You can't just throw like a regular residential dimmer switch on there. So there is, I don't know, like 6 wires in the back of this dimmer switch. And I had to run low voltage to all 4 lights and back to the dimmer. There's power in, power out to the boxes. And then there's a low voltage dimmer that goes to each light also. No Calypso tonight. Still early. It's only 10 o'clock. Someone asked if I ever installed butcher block countertops. Any tips or tricks? I don't know if it was you that asked that earlier. But butcher block countertops are real easy to install. Just make sure you oil them, or else they'll shrink and warp. Someone asked, how did I like my old Hitachi job site saw? I'm guessing that is the Death Trap table saw that I got at a flea market. It was old. I'm sure they've advanced a long way, but that went to the dump. Now I have my DeWalt job site table saw. Bye-bye. Let's see here. You seem like you smoke some weed. Nope. I think the last time I did that was at a buddy's bachelor party 12 years ago, maybe 12, 15 years ago. No freaking way. That'd be crazy if her name is Leah, I think. C. Jane Drill. This is the this is the man cave. Yes, I got to put some wood on. It's getting we're done. Oh shit, we're 80 up here. I think I'm going to throw a little bit of wood on the fire. Going for a little bit. Anybody still in here? Someone says they don't get the C. Jane Drill jokes. Yeah, it ain't worry about it. Do I recommend Makita tools? Absolutely. My first screw gun, was it a screw gun? They didn't have impact guns back then, was a Makita. Actually, I think my dad still has it. It wasn't mine. I borrowed it from my dad because I needed one for the apprenticeship that I was doing. Let's see here. Someone asked, are you planning on finishing your entire shop with your client's old materials, like a museum? I do plan on finishing this whole thing. Next step is to get the compressor in that room. The compressor, I got to run a 30 amp 220, and I've already got the breaker for, I think it's a 60. I don't know how many amps it is. 50 or 60 amp. 50 amp. 220 is also going to the other room. That's the next step. Then new 20 amp circuit on this wall. I got to get some 20 amp receptacles on that wall, on the other side. Some by the door, some over here, and then I got to start taking out all this old conduit here and tidying up my wires to hide behind ceiling and wallboard. Pointing at the ghost. I was pointing at the conduit right there. It comes out of this thing and goes up and this way and goes up and over that way. Someone asked, are you into cars or trucks? I used to heavily be into cars and trucks. There's actually a YouTube video floating around out there of some of my old, all my old toys on a friend's old YouTube channel. You'll probably look it up right now, but I was actually thinking of downloading it, kind of re-editing it, and putting it on the other channel. These days, though, I'm all about, if you can count how much money I spent on motorized toys, I could probably retire a whole 5 years earlier. If I took all that money and invested it, I'd have a lot more money, that's for sure. So these days, I don't have any toys. Somebody asked, do you prefer cordless tools or corded tools? On the job site, cordless all the way. I got rid of all my corded tools in 2008. In the workshop here, it's even cordless. The track saw that I got is cordless. The only thing in here that I use that has an attachment to it, I still use air nailers in the workshop. That's it. Oh, and my random orbital sander still has a cord to it. Let's see here. The cabinets are from Handyman's old kitchen. These cabinets came out of a customer's kitchen. Kind of the larger remodel that I did over December and January. Someone wants to talk about guns. So I knew someone was going to bring up guns. That's kind of my toys these days. Jason Miller, I'm going to do a video on the other channel. Jason Miller, yeah, about that. If you haven't committed yet, what I would do and why you should do that and how it will benefit you in your long game. So there's a lot of things I could put out on that other channel. But look for the self-employment, something about self-employed. Yeah, demonetized. Just digging myself out of a hole as I went off grid for 7 or 8 days and didn't upload any videos. And man, you could see the graph. It's like here, and then it goes way down for views, and then I'm just starting to climb back out. What brand track saw did you purchase? Well, I'll just show it to you. Had to be yellow, of course, right? 60-volt flex volt. This is me starting to go down the rabbit hole of the 60-volt flex volt, whatever. You know what I'm trying to say. There's a whole other set of tools. I don't even have. There's different speeds. That was speed 1. That's speed 7. I don't know what. Does anybody know why you would need real low speed on a track saw? Anyone? I still got to get some more tracks. What did I get? I got like a 56, 58-inch track, mainly just for breaking down 4x8 sheets of plywood, cross-cutting them. What is a track saw? Oh, I'm going to do a video on it. Well, you're going to see a lot of that track saw. On Monday, I get $1,000 in plywood delivered to start building cabinets. And I think you're gonna get to see this guy here in action. Yeah, actually, I struck a deal. I wheeled and dealed. You get for these. They are domestic, made in the USA, finished, pre-finished, both sides, 3/4 inch maple. They usually go for like $140 a sheet. But I called around, kind of pre-ordered from a place that hadn't had any in a while. Anyways, I'm getting them for around 93 or $96 a sheet. Sheet metal? Oh, track saw through sheet metal? I guess you could do that. I wouldn't push that through sheet metal. I actually do have a corded. I don't know where the heck it went. It's probably stuffed back into one of these cabinets. A corded circular saw that I use. It's got this carbide blade on it for cutting steel. Someone asked, what's the name of my other YouTube channel? It's called The Handyman Business. Justin asked a good question, and I had going to read it out loud. It says, have you knocked on doors, canvassed, or put out flyers at the beginning? I thought heavily about it because I didn't have much financial responsibility in 2008, something like that. It was and there was a recession back then. Not very many people were investing anything into their house except for like necessities. I never did. I thought about it. I researched it. I thought about going to different real estate agencies, printing off just a one-page flyer of what I can do and that I'm available. Bringing donuts, the whole thing. I just never did it. Maybe because I didn't have enough confidence to actually walk in there and do it. I think that's probably the reason why I never went through it with it. Probably would have helped me out, speed up the growth process if I had gone through with that. Keep the vodka flowing? I don't have any vodka. You'll be looking. Oh, that guy's crazy. Looking for a video on a stripper pole. If I get a job to install a stripper pole, I will definitely put it on YouTube and see if I can get some sort of demonstration on it too. Not me. Maybe Andy will do a demo on the pole. Will you do another video on tool organization? Workshop or my disaster of a tool trailer? Someday I'll get back to that tool trailer. Someone asks, are you making cabinets with pocket joinery? You making the doors as well? I'm making everything. And yeah, pocket holes. All these cabinets here from 1997, they're all made with pocket holes. See, pocket holes is something new to social media, but it's definitely not new to cabinet building. There's a lot of information on cabinet building on YouTube. I've done a lot of research, and when I start building them in here, I'm going to put links to these videos as a reference from some really good craftsmen. And there's ways to build cabinets that use dados and rabbits and basically dados and rabbits. I may be using some of those, but it's kind of like you don't need to. You just don't need to. It's like people like to practice building a fire by rubbing sticks together. There's a lot of people on YouTube who like to do old-fashioned woodworking joinery. I use a blowtorch to light my fires. Yeah, there's a lot of ways to build cabinets. Actually kind of got a little test going on here. These drawers down here, they're only glued. That's it. They're just glued with a butt joint. Here, I'll bring you down closer. That's it, right there. And if you've worked with wood glue before, you know that it's strong. It's stronger than the actual wood. Actually had one right here. So do you guys remember that blue vanity from the bathroom build? This is one of the legs. And I glued this up and just pinned it with a few, what is that, 18 gauge nail there? And I glued it wrong. A wrong size, wrong something. And I realized it about 3 minutes after I had it glued up. And I tried breaking it apart, but it literally started ripping the wood apart. So the glue joint is stronger than the actual wood. And that's just after 3 minutes of drying. A full 24 hours of cure time, that tight bond glue, it is done. You ain't getting it apart. So glue goes a long way. There's another guy. I just watched him last night. He built his own kitchen cabinets, and he didn't use pocket holes. Only thing he did was wood glue and 18 gauge nails. That's it. Yes, this is a good question. Glue is strong, but plywood is only as good as the first layer. That goes to the type of plywood that you use. The domestic plywood has much better adhesives between the veneer layers. Since I'm getting pre-finished both sides for the cabinet carcasses, the drawers, the skins on the back, that glue, it's not gonna do much. So that's where you put a rabbit or a dado, cut it in there. You get a bit much more larger gluing surface. But the pocket holes, man, it's hard to ignore them, and they got a bad rap by the woodworkers on YouTube. But like I said, they've been around forever. It's not the Craig jig just didn't come out in the last 5 years. Ooh, someone has a good question. Painting old oak cabinets. That would be these here. Oak has a, I don't know, deep grain to it. I can just take a look at them. Primer, sand. If you want to get them smooth, just a lot of primer and sanding to get them all the grain filled. Ever seen oak plywood? Got a sheet right there. That's oak plywood. The top veneer is oak on that one. That's actually scrap, and it's going to be the base of the drawers for the next 5. Hopefully I can get 5. Someone keeps saying subscribe to PewDiePie, but they keep getting blocked by YouTube because I think it's a spam thing. So what material do you usually keep on hand? I saw in one video you had an extra toilet supply hose. In the trailer, I do have some supply lines. I've got a ton of plumbing fittings, ABS, a lot of under sink P-trap parts, all those those compression washers for putting together P-traps. I keep Romex, wire nuts, electrical boxes, remodel electrical boxes, plugs, switches, things like that. All right, I got to go over here and block somebody again. Oop, not that guy. There we go. Grain filler. Yeah, that makes sense that there's a product specifically for filling the grains on those oak cabinets, because so many people have these oak cabinets in their house, and you just got to paint the face frames and the doors and drawers, and you got almost kind of a more modern looking kitchen. Where's Paige? I think Paige has been in the hospital for like 3 months, and she sent me I think she sent me a message today that she gets to go home. Yeah, we're close. Let's see here. Where is Paige? Holy cow. Jeez, lots of creepers. She goes home tomorrow. Man, I got a whole bunch of DMs I didn't even know about. Dude. Do a top 10 video on some of the unique tools you own. I could do that. I've got some cool tools that aren't in your average DIYer's garage. Okay, oak cabinets. What were you guys doing putting orange oak cabinets? I'm not sure what that means. These cabinets come out of someone else's house in the 90s, 80s, 90s, hell, even into the 2000s. These oak cabinets went in so many houses, and it's time to remodel. So a lot of them are coming out. Well, they are ugly. I think there's an oil-based poly something on there. That's why they amber and turn that orangish color. It's because it's the oil-based. What? Anybody else got any questions? Oh, went over an hour. What time is it? 10:30. Have you ever tried the TC Pro paint sprayer? What do you think of a biscuit joiner for cabinet? Is it better to just nail it? I have a biscuit joiner. I haven't seen biscuit joints used much on cabinetry. It's usually pocket holes. But you can use like attaching the face frames to the carcasses. I don't think that's really used that much anymore. What's the best way to get rid of bad skip trowel wall texture? Skip trowel is usually pretty thick, pretty heavy. That's not something you're going to scrape off. I mean, if you're trying to do a whole house, get rid of it. I've never done it. Skim coat the whole thing is the only thing I can think of. Or go over it with 1/4-inch drywall and redo everything. I have a heavy skip trowel on my rental house. It's supposed to look like some plaster look to it. And I know that if I wanted to get rid of it, I don't know how I would do it. It would be not fun. Oh, here's a good question. And I don't know. Kevin Miller, would you oil a table bench made of butcher block? Would it get your clothes oily? maybe a bench that you're sitting on. I don't know. I know you got to do something with it. I know most butcher blocks that you're going to put food on, you use a food grade oil, just to keep it sanitary and conditioned. Blow it up, rebuild from the ground up. Brandon, yeah, I don't think I have it linked yet. You mentioned in your last video you have another channel about business of handyman work. When I click over to see other channels on your YouTube about thing, that's what he means. I don't have it linked. I probably should do that. But if you just type in the handyman business, they will come up. Someone asked, have you ever had TV gig offers? Yes. I just did a Skype audition for a Netflix show. But the more research I do on YouTube and the reality TV shows, the more I'm finding that people are not taking those offers and putting more work into their YouTube channel. Yeah, we'll see. I did another Skype interview last summer for an HGTV show. Both, I basically have to be an actor. The reasons I'm not getting them is I'm not set up. I don't have headshots. They all want shots, headshots and body shots and like a portfolio. I'm like, I don't have it. I'll do a Skype interview. You grab the photos from my YouTube channel. Yes, it's more lucrative on YouTube. There's some big DIY YouTube channels who have, or trade work, who've dabbled with reality TV, but have decided to, because you can get production quality right here in your own workshop. Basically, they do their own YouTube show, make millions of dollars a year. Bud's Woodworking. Do you add new tool purchase into costs of your job? Kind of, in a roundabout way. I mean, if it needs to get coded to something, it can easily, this track saw can easily get coded to a specific job. I'm trying to read here. Handy Andy could be my property brother. That's funny. So where was I? I was on vacation recently, and my wife, she likes to watch the HGTV show. Basically plays 24 hours a day. We don't have cable TV at home. And the shows that were pitched to me were when DIYers get in trouble and they need a crew of experts to come rescue them. I think that it's almost like a monster that they created. HGTV made it seem like anybody can just go rebuild an entire house, or rebuild your entire house. Well, now there's a market because so many people, thought that they could do that. It was going to be so easy. It takes 30 minutes. They do it like no problems. So now there's a whole new market for people who tried and failed, and now they're getting bailed out. Someone asked, do you do house walkthroughs for a house one of your customers are potentially going to buy? Yes. I've done that several times for long-term customers. many times. I got to check the fire. Some swallows up the wood. Someone asked, what's the square footage of your workshop? 20 by 30. 600 square feet, give or take a little bit. Someone asked, do you ever trade work for services or items you want or need? I never did in the past because I needed some money. But I wouldn't rule it out now. Let's see here. I'm just trying to read. Yeah, well, slash 2314. Home renovation is more thorough than most TV shows. Well, I've watched a couple of that guy's videos, puts out good videos, like TV quality. So it's a Canadian-based business. This not that guy. That guy's just like the host. There's a whole production editing crew that make those videos. You watch the end, they have the credits of who made that video. And that goes to show what the potential is on social media, YouTube. And we're just scratching the surface of where this whole online YouTube or the next YouTube thing is going. Leaving, learning. If you cook pasta, the steam will delaminate those cabinets. I must have missed part of that conversation. Jason Miller, you have a good question or statement. You should be a home inspector for realtors. Well, buddy of mine I went to college with, he has a construction management degree. He's actually got more experience than I do. He stayed in it longer than I did. Managing, he was superintendent, construction manager for custom homes down in Texas. He did concrete work, but he was sick of the construction industry and was going to try to be a home inspector. It didn't work out. Around here, there's a lot of competition, and he went all in. He bought into the being part of some realtor board, and they meet once a month, and everybody goes there and tries to beg and schmooze realtors. It's a flooded market in my area for a home inspector. Yeah, 82 Camaro. I think that home renovation show is good. What's crazy is somebody, actually one of you guys told me about a Reddit rant post where a guy wrote a whole freaking paragraph just bitching about me and home renovation. I've been doing this for 35 years, and these guys go on to YouTube and making all these videos, and they're not doing things right. And I think it had like three views in his Reddit post, but it was kind of an honor to be included in that rant post with the home renovation guy. Yeah, really. It's crazy because I get a lot of people send me screenshots when somebody else around the internet is talking trash. Entertaining, but it comes with having a YouTube channel. You will not avoid it. Just reading through your comments here. Someone asked, do you ever hire an extra hand if you have a big project? I don't. Jake Jones, you got my back? Thanks. Appreciate that. Oh, you do have to have thick skin, man. You wouldn't believe. Especially those videos. One of the $20,000 bathroom remodel. God, I'm going to just see how many comments a day that it'd take me too long to dig it up. But I mean, 50, 100 comments a day on that dang video. I mean, people are saying that you can get an entire bathroom remodel for like $2,000, $5,000. I'm like, man, I don't know where the heck you live, but those are slave wages. Do I own Mel Seeger? I have no idea what that means. Someone asked about PEX piping. PEX is going in everywhere. I haven't seen much of removing copper and installing PEX. I've seen a lot of removing the galvanized plumbing and CPVC. CPVC is super fragile and very brittle. I actually filmed a video, but lost the content about how brittle the CPVC plumbing is. I mean, you can take it in your hands and flex it, and it just cracks and crumbles. Am I sponsored by DeWalt? Man, I wish I was. No, I bought every DeWalt tool you see I purchased. How do I get sponsored by DeWalt? I don't know. I think I got to grow. Maybe 250,000 subscribers, averaging 4 million plus views a month. You could get into DeWalt territory as a video sponsor. Oh, what would be the best cheap DIY way to insulate a garage? I'm guessing the way I did mine, just craft face bat insulation. R13 on the walls, R19 in the ceilings. If you've got the space, I've got my foam board up on this going up on the sides here. I do have to do something with this garage door. It's actually not too bad. I'm actually coming out of winter. I mean, it's not that cold anymore. So I got to start thinking about insulating and how I'm going to cool this place for the summertime. Black & Decker would probably sponsor me. I don't know. I actually have a full set of Ryobi tools. I was thinking of doing a video of like, I'm going to just use Ryobi tools, not in here, but in customers' houses and see how long they last. I think they would last. I mean, I think one deck build and it would burn them up. Someone asks, what's the farthest you would drive for your job? How many miles do you have on your truck? These days, I think 30 miles one way is probably the farthest I would go. I've gone further. I have 233,000 miles on my truck. Let's see here. What do we got here? Just reading along here. Someone, 82 Camaro. You have a bitchin' Camaro? I love Camaros. He said he insulated above his garage with R19 and has had good results. Someone says, I think carpet should be installed by pros, not DIYer. I agree. A seaming carpet is a skill and takes specialty tools and experience to use those specialty tools. What's my personal choice for carpet? No carpet. I don't have any carpet in my house. What would you do with an old pocket door? Ooh, you're lucky if you got a pocket door. I actually have a customer who's got two pocket doors, old pocket doors, that I got to figure out how to get modern door panels in and hooked up into them. That will be a video in the future. It's kind of on the back burner when I get time. Something I'm going to have to figure out, though. Carpet is dumb. Doesn't wear very well. It's kind of just an affordable floor covering. Ernest, like Ernest Goes to Camp. That's funny. Do I have any more decks coming? I don't. I've got a deck that I'm going to attempt to refinish. It's really solidly built. I think the deck boards are actually full 2x6s, all screwed. They want to get another year or so out of it, so I'll be messing around with refinishing it, making it look a little bit more nicer for get them a couple more years out of it. Ask people to like your vid. Hit the like button, please. I don't know. Maybe I'll keep this one up for a day or so that some people can, who are interested, can watch it. But like I said in the beginning, it hurts my monthly averages, and they can't stay up. That's why I take them down. Because not very many people are going to watch an hour and a half video. Thanks for liking it. Just run a tack strip down the center. Someone asked a question. Zachary, how do you handle a customer who wants to reschedule at the last minute? Well, I mean, so you can't go do the work. You can't do the work. You reschedule them. And I always have like a running list. Actually, it reminds me. A guy emailed me a whole list of the stuff that has to be due on his rental properties. He says, all I need is a 1-day notice. So I've got right now a running list. Like if I ever wanted to work more hours, just go to the list, find an address, call them up and said, hey, mostly text, hey, I'm going to go fix the window or replace the microwave or this or that at such and such house. Can I get in there tomorrow? Do I charge a cancellation fee? Absolutely not. No way. No, I build long-lasting customer relations, not charging them for a cancellation. I don't charge for estimates or anything like that. Hard surfaces everywhere but bedrooms. In the rental house, there's only carpet in the bedrooms, but most, I don't know, a lot of houses that cost money don't have carpet. They have rugs. So you do have rugs in houses, but I don't have like actually attached carpet in my house. Tips on installing a window where there wasn't one previously. Pretty easy. Just cut out the wall board, frame it in, siding, trim it out. Hopefully you don't have aluminum siding or steel siding. Trimming out that, it helps to have a metal break. But if you have any sort of wood siding or composite lap siding, it's a piece of cake. I do not invest in cryptocurrency. Have I ever had to evict renters? When I was in Florida, I worked for a slumlord. And man, there's some crazy stuff that went down there. Oh, that whole southern part of the state is kind of corrupt. Carpet matches the drapes, of course, Jake. I look like one of the new kids on the block. I'll take it. Rug cleaning is great money. Someone asked, where'd you learn your skills? How'd you start off your construction career? My construction career started when I was in high school. It's been a long, slow evolution. I did go to college. I have a bachelor's in construction management. I worked for the largest home builders in the country. My first job out of college was doing commercial construction, building mid-rise apartment buildings. It's a long time. And I worked for other people. That's going to be a focus of a video on the other channel, is go work for other people. Learn from people who are already successful. Your learning curve will be much faster if and when you decide to go out on your own. Someone asked, do you work by yourself on bathroom remodels or do you hire help? I've never hired help except for like a 1 month period when I had broken ribs. So no help. They just get in the way. Where's my drink? It's empty. It's Friday night. It's not Friday night for me. I don't have Friday nights. Why do I see most kitchen and bath renovations tear down all the drywall? Is that necessary? It's not necessary at all. It's just not. Unless it's rotting. Sometimes on showers, they'll be rot because they didn't keep it maintained. I think I posted some old ones on my Instagram. I've got pictures of where I had to remove all the insulation, all the drywall in a shower area. Referencing that $20,000 bathroom remodel, a lot of people say, you got to take it to the studs. I'm like, no, you don't. It's got strong-ass lath and plaster, 100% waterproof already there. Why the hell would I tear it down and risk damaging the cast iron tub that the customers specifically want to keep? A lot of people want to keep those old cast iron tubs. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. But I replaced all the plumbing, all the supply lines, all the drain lines, all the electrical supply. That's all replaced. There you go. That's all I got to say about that, I guess. A lot of times on drywall, when you're removing a lot of... did I have it? No, the customers did it themselves. When you take most houses built in the last 30, 40 years, the shower that the tile is on, that's just either green board or straight up drywall. And when you remove the tile, it destroys the drywall. That's another reason that you got to take it down to the studs. I've got a bathroom remodel. It's one of my older videos, probably 3 years ago now, where you see how I cut the whole section of tile out and take those full sections, like 4 foot, 3 foot sections of tiled drywall right out of the bathroom. I also replaced the tub because it was a cheap tub. It wasn't a cast iron tub. So I do what's necessary and what the customer wants, most importantly. Ever have a housewife come on to you? It's not that late, Jake. Not that late. Those stories aren't coming out tonight. This thing's still on? You guys stop talking. There we go. What jobs you don't do or prefer not to do? I prefer not to do large volume of flooring or a large volume of drywall or large paint jobs or roofing. I used to do a lot of roofing. Hey, you stay on here. I used to do a lot of roofing, a lot of siding. For other people, not for myself. I worked for a lot of remodel companies in my past. How many hours of sleep do you get every night? Maybe 6. 6 hours is a good night's sleep. The slumlord stories, I don't know. I may have said them in some of those other late night live streams about working in the ghetto and chasing meth heads out of houses. Don Williams, he wants to start a handyman directory. Is that a good idea? There's another guy out there who spams my comment section trying to get people to go to his certified handyman directory. I actually think there's a dumb enough people out there to use it. When people ask me how to find someone, I always say you need a first-hand reference. I don't know. You get you get first-hand references. If you are doing the handyman directory, I would make sure that you include a criminal background check to be part of that directory. That's something that is worth paying for. Make sure you're not getting some felon coming in your house casing it out. Oh yeah, my eyes. I would love to have 7-9 hours of sleep, but maybe in a year or so I can get back to that. Oh, here's a guy. Not my name. Having trouble finding remodel companies that don't require verified experience. Any advice on a job search for someone with no experience? Where to look and what to look for? I'm not sure the size of your city. I didn't have troubles when I was 18 years old. That is a good question. Just keep looking, and you got to start at the bottom for low pay. Kind of how it works. Someone says you should take on an apprentice. I have no interest in taking on an apprentice. Hershey Harrisburg area. I'm from the East Coast. I'm very familiar with that area. Harrisburg's doing pretty good. Their economy it's okay for Pennsylvania. Hmm. I think it's going to come down if to get an interview, you get in front of someone and just say, "Hey, you know what? I want to learn the trades. I know that I don't have much value right now, but I want to, you know, work for you for low pay. It's the only way to get that education. And just think about it. You will get paid to be educated in real world. That's another thing. Is there so much that I see in the comments of people who've never worked in the construction industry. They're handy and they're going out on their own and they're asking questions that you learn in the industry. It's kind of the don't ask, don't tell type gray area of things. And I don't answer them. Just can't. And that's why I want to do a video. Of course, I'm doing it right now, but not very many people are going to make it to the hour 41 minute. Is you learn this stuff by working for other remodel contractors, home builders, roofers, siders, carpentry businesses, finish carpentry. You learn the ins and outs that no one talks about. I've actually had quite a few comments from other people in this business that say, "Hey, you're giving away all these secrets. Cut it out." Oh, here's a good question. Justin Barties, what's the trick to get your old clients to refer you to your new ones? You have to tell them to do it. It's a call to action. And every time you see them, you just got to say it. You say, the only way that I get my work is through word of mouth. Please tell me or tell your friends and family about the work that I do. And every time you meet them, tell them that. Maybe have a little bit more rehearsed. I haven't had to say it in a long time. But you have to ask them to do it for you every time. Okay, if asked, would you help build the wall? You know I can't answer that. I know your little funny face knows the answer. Have I installed metal roofing? A few times. Pretty simple, um, but not a lot. Oh man, my back's starting to. I've been standing in this one spot for an hour and 43 minutes. Do I think the solar movement is a scam? I haven't gotten too deep into that. I do have a customer who does have a full solar array on his house. I know he barely has an electric bill, but they're trying to screw him. They're trying to not pay him for the surplus that he puts into the grid. That's my limited experience with solar. Mm-hmm. Solar is huge in Utah. All electric companies are screwing folks. Yeah, the electric companies, I don't know. I think they're going to start creeping in. The more solar gets on these houses, the more they're going to have to pay out. Get a sofa and a beer. Get like a recliner set up here with some cup holders in it. That's funny. Here's a good question. Have you ever run into any issues when working in houses with aluminum electrical wiring? I know a little bit about it. I had a customer who was really thinking about buying a house with all aluminum wiring. And what they came to me asking for info, and of course I had to read up on it. From my understanding, the danger is not in the actual straight runs of wiring inside the wall. They're at their connection points to the devices, the switches, the receptacles, the light fixtures. That's where you're going to get your failures and your fire danger. There is a specific approved method to bond devices to aluminum wiring. It takes a specialty tool, and your electrician has to be trained by that manufacturer to use that tool. If you're going to convert the entire house, other people just use purple wire nuts. But that's my research, and that customer decided to not do that because of the fear and resale value. They said they skipped on that house. It's kind of build a recliner. Someone asked, what are jobs that I don't touch? Doing less and less plumbing, and the high labor intense jobs I'm trying to do less and less of. Unless someone really wants me to do it and they're willing to pay, like that vinyl plank flooring that I did. Not high on my list of things to do, but I made, I don't know, like $4,000 in 4 days. Yeah, another thing, that no-locks, you can squirt that into a wire nut when you're putting in light fixtures and things. What do I think of most home inspectors? If you're getting an old house, I highly recommend a home inspector, a plumbing inspection, a chimney inspection, and they're not going to catch everything. It'll give you just an idea of what you're in for. Have you ever started a job that found was over your head? I've done a lot of jobs, mainly when I was getting started before this YouTube thing. That was pretty intense for a one-man operation, but yeah, I just broke it down into small jobs and easily got through them. Where's my dog? She is probably sleeping. Oh, here's a good question. When replacing a stove hood fan vent with a microwave, do you shorten the cabinet? I'm trying to remember if I've ever done that. I kind of got lost in the thought there. I would assume you'd have to do something, or else your microwave would be hanging right over your pots. Maybe replace it. Cutting it down, you have to rebuild the door. I mean, you could cut it down and put different rails in, and you have to rebuild the whole cabinet. Let's see here. Who is it? Any other questions out there? How many of these shirts do I own? This one here? I own this shirt. One shirt. Let's see here. Thanks, Chris. See a lot of my videos. Actually, I just dug this one out just for you. I haven't worn this shirt in months. Time to upgrade the shop. We're getting there. Getting there. Got the insulation up. Dimmer switch on the spotlights. Starting on getting electrical to the other room to get the compressor out of this room. Someone did a super chat a few minutes back. Did they ask a question? Let's see. Back to 11:09. Going back. 11. Oh, here we go. Frog. Hope you're still here. How long did you work for companies in the past? I went full self-employed in 2008. So, I mean, I was working for construction companies when I was 16 years old. I did side work all through college, so I was kind of on my own. I don't know. We'll say 15 years. Easy 15 years for other companies. Now, when I was working for those companies, I never in a million years thought I was going to go out and work for myself. If I knew that I had an end game of having my own business, I would have paid much more attention, focused, and had a whole different reasoning behind why I would have paid attention and made it worth my time a lot more. You don't have to go 15 years to learn enough to go out on your own. If I decide to take the leap, just kind of reading along here. 222 people in here, but only 95 likes. Can we get 220 likes for my lower back? Oh, snapping. Oh, there we go. Everyone like, please. But more importantly, I was supposed to build drawers tonight. Hey, I put a mirror up. That's where I give myself a haircut. Cut my own hair. What do you think? Not too bad, huh? Fire up the saw and get chopping. Actually, it's getting too late. I've got till Monday. I'm trying to just use up the scrap wood. I'm trying to get my weekend schedule together. Got my ears lowered. I'm at 139 likes on my end. What's it say over here? On this computer, it's 139 likes too. Is that muted? I wonder why no volume's coming out of that one. It's probably a good thing. Oh, it is muted. Release the Kraken. I think I got some Kraken in the other room. But I got to get up early. And actually, you know that the toilet video, I gotta take some notes and get some stats and stuff for that video before I make it. Shave the beard? No. Early? What? Yeah, I gotta get up and work in the morning. Recommended. That's a big job there, BMS. 3 stories, 3 units. I always like to start with the hardest thing first, which would be the 3rd floor. And as you wear out, things get easier because you don't got to climb 3 stories. Where do you get your wood from? I try to get most of it from Lowe's or Home Depot, but a hardwood store for cabinet type plywood. Someone asks, which TV shows do I currently watch? I don't watch TV. Oh, my wife watches some weird thing on Netflix. I don't even want to get into what she's been watching. What's for breakfast? I usually have scrambled eggs with some hot dogs in there. Maybe a bagel, some French toast too. I'm getting hungry. I haven't eaten dinner yet. You use cabinet wood for the firewood? Yeah. Try not to. I'm trying to use all the scrap wood to build these drawers in here. But come Monday morning, what I haven't been able to use or cut up to burn, or isn't at a large enough piece, is going to the dump. Someone asks, does anyone recognize you from YouTube? You know what's weird? Like last spring, I was only around 30, maybe 40,000 subscribers. It happened kind of often. But it hasn't happened in a long time. Yes, someone asked if my wife makes good dinners. She makes all good meals. Tips on setting up a shop. You just got one. That's awesome. It's setting up the shop is all about your budget, in my opinion. I've been really dragging my feet with this one, trying to get a good jump start on it. Even looks like a mess now just because I have all my tools out. But that room there, the one that looks like from a hoarder's, it's completely empty. Completely empty. Well, I want to say completely empty, but it's pretty empty over there. How do you start getting customers if no one knows you? You just got to tell people. Order a box of business cards from Vistaprint. Hand them out to your friends. I'm assuming you've got some friends and some family. Give them 20 business cards. And they got to actively promote you at their job, at the bar, at happy hour. People need, especially, I mean, I guess my age group, the 30-somethings, they need work. They can't do anything. They can't even assemble furniture. It's kind of funny. It's true. They want someone that they can trust, that they feel comfortable around in their house working. Let's see here. Is my ceiling, the insulation, I don't know if it's touching. There's supposed to be an air gap, but this is R19 met for 2x6. I think I have 2x8s for the rafters. So there's a little bit. I don't have any moisture here. So I don't get any condensation whatsoever. 155. What do you call yourself if not a handyman, a general contractor? Honestly, I don't call myself anything. I have a business name that definitely doesn't have handyman in it. But since I've never advertised, I guess a remodel contractor if someone asks. But my customers do my advertising for me. So I've never had to call myself anything really. Did you ever join a union? Nope. Not very many unions around here. Someone says many young people think they're too good for this type of work. That is very true. This is not an easy way to make a living. There are much easier ways to make a living. Oh, yeah. A good question, Cable Guy. If you were going to make cards at Vistaprint, what would you put? I don't want to give away what I put, but something in the home services, home repairs, remodel. Maybe have some of the items that are your big, they pay the most in your area. Fence repair, building privacy fences, decks, pergolas, kitchen remodels. It's kind of what mine is. But if it was strictly handyman, it would be home services, home repair specialist, something like that. Handyman, you might as well just say, my name's Handy Andy. Hold my beer. I know a lot of guys call themselves handyman in their business name, but you put a cap on what they're willing to pay a handyman. Oh, man. If you were starting over, would you get into electrical, plumbing, or HVAC? I'm actually thinking HVAC. I don't know. There's a lot of competition. Maybe a service electrician would be a decent specialty trade. I've wired hundreds and hundreds of new homes. Rough finish, rough finish, rough finish, rough finish. You don't want to make a living wiring new houses or plumbing new houses. I think the electrical service industry would be good. Plumbing service, you know what you're in for. You're going to be cleaning toilets if you're in a plumbing service. A service electrician is probably a good choice. Easy to market yourself and set yourself apart from the other guys. Someone says, I sand drywall and labor for bricklaying. I don't recommend either. Hey, I've been there. I wouldn't recommend it either. Fast Eddie, he agrees with my statement on the service part of it, not the new construction stuff. Still only at 155. Can't get those last 50 people. What's something you wish you would have known 10 years ago? I don't know. I think I would do it all the same. I wish I don't know, was where I was at. I mean, I wish I would have had a 7-year head start. I'd be close to be retired by now. Start YouTube earlier. Definitely. I agree with that one. Do I know anybody in Northwest Ohio? No, nobody. I don't know anybody that lives in Ohio at all. Have I done any commercial work? Yes. The bulk of all my experience is in residential, though. Someone asked, what's your favorite type of jobs to do? That would be just problem solving. Not a major remodel, not a simple repair, but God, I had a good example. I just did one. Just figuring out something that people can't make sense of, and someone else has come in and either couldn't do it or wanted to charge too much. Basically, a lot of my motivation is reputation. I like when people talk good about me. And when I can fix something that someone thinks is difficult or impossible, that's pretty rewarding. Mobile home massage. Jake, I think you've been getting into the calypso. Thanks, Aaron Fickling. Just reading along. Someone asked, do you have any older mentors in the business? Mentors. That's kind of a buzzword that people like to use now on YouTube. Got to have your mentors. I guess I would call it people who are successful that I learned from. There's one guy that I worked for since I was a teenager. He taught me a lot, but not much about the business. I got all my business motivation and drive from other entrepreneurs that were older, but they weren't in construction industry. There's not very many like really big success stories in a small construction company. The success stories are the ones that go big, like real big. Someone asked, am I a car enthusiast? Yes. I'd say yes, definitely. Cars, trucks, anything with a motor. Took in a break from having anything cool. I've had a lot of cars over the years. No, don't ever hire a helper. Susan, any tips on getting more proficient with plumbing? Well, if you screw up, you can really screw up. Working alongside a plumber for a few years helps. Most plumbing repairs outside of sweating copper are pretty straightforward, like replacing the a cartridge in your mixer valve for your shower. That's a very, very common home maintenance item. When you get a leaky hose thing. It's not the hose. What's the thing? The tub spout. And people start cranking and cranking and cranking and trying to crank the whole freaking handle off, thinking it's going to stop it. You just need to replace the internal parts. YouTube videos can teach you how to do that. Gregory asks, how do you convince a new customer to let you work in their home when they're not there? I don't have to. The person that referred me to them has already done the convincing. I don't have to sell myself in that area. Some of the larger remodels, I do have to submit a bid and compete against other contractors. But as far as that part, that's one of the reasons I get the jobs, is because I've come referred from one of their friends or family that they trust. And they usually have really good things to say about me. A lot of them know. I mean, I have like a family of customers that we all know each other now. Kind of gets uncomfortable because I am running a business. Someone asked, what type of truck do you plan on getting once yours bites the dust? I really don't think mine's going to bite the dust. Thing starts and runs perfect every day. But I do realize that at some point, because I did a good bit of maintenance, at some point it's going to just be an annoyance. It will to keep up with repairs. But right now, I just doesn't need. I still got to redo. I do got to do my power window. I got the heated seat kit. Of course, we're coming out of. I bought it like in November. I don't know. Maybe one of these days I'll put my heated seats in. Probably be July when I get to that. The truck thing. I don't know. I do a lot of research on trucks. Today I was just doing the research on axle ratios, payload capacity, towing capacity amongst different trucks. The more options you get, the lower your payload goes down. You get one with a nice big extra cab and the sunroof and the power seats, cooled seats. Your payload actually goes down quite a bit. Somebody asks, what's your minimum service charge fee? I don't have a minimum. Let's take this toilet thing that I did. That is more of customer service to get more work, get referrals. When it's a private residence, because I got private residence customers and then I have rental agency customers, and I am going to talk about that in tomorrow's video about the toilet, because it's a completely different pricing structure. Toilet for rental management company versus a private residence. Where's that video? I haven't made it yet. So I'll be out here like 7 in the morning filming that, editing it, and get it up maybe around, let's see here. It'll be up early afternoon Eastern time. But yeah, there's a big difference in how people value the toilet repair. And it's crazy how many toilets are in the world. And half of them are running. How come I don't see a thumbs up buttons on here? I don't know. I got 2 laptops up. I'm not looking at it on my phone. Jason Miller, you've been waiting all day. All day for what? You got to exit the chat to hit the thumbs up button? No wonder no one's clicking. It's not a big deal. Don't go out of your way. It's just a like button. The toilet video. Yes, Saturday. I clearly have it printed across the screen to be out Saturday morning-ish. Morning is a relative term wherever you live in the world. Do you make more money from YouTube or your job? I don't know where that conversation should happen. This channel or the other channel. YouTube is not a dependable source of income. What I am doing is being a little more selective in the types of jobs that I take, like manual labor stuff, lower risk jobs, because I don't need to take the risks, because I got another supplemental income. But you can never just, if you're young and you've got a great trending channel that appeals to young people, you can make a lot of money, and you could make that your job. But if I don't go work on customers' houses, I don't have content to put up for you guys. So I'll keep on keeping on doing the remodels and toilet flappers and whatever else comes along. But YouTube could make more this year than I could ever make as a handyman. It could. It's on pace to do 3 times as much as last year. You like when I change the voice? I could not be the next PewDiePie. Yeah, I try to make things a little entertaining, give you a little bit of a story about why I'm doing things. I need to focus on that more, is give you a little more background up front, because a lot of people, why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? Because the freaking customer said to do it. Like, got several people asking, why aren't you just replacing that toilet? I thought it was clear as day, because I gave the intro, the customer already bought the parts. and said, "Can you put the parts in?" I say yes. I mean, is it worth my time to try to sell them on a new toilet? No. It's all a psychology thing, I guess, is that they were making the correct decision by replacing the flapper. Not say, no, that's the wrong decision. You got to go do this. You always want to leave them with a positive feeling. Fact. You still standing there? I'm still standing here. I do need to get... Oh, if I sit down, I can't... Oh, it's crack. Oh, crack in the back a little. I can't see the screen. What's the sharpest tool in your shed? I don't know. Do I watch Ben Shapiro? I've seen him. He's too smart for anybody to debate. That's why most people won't debate him. I mean, he's a freaking genius. He's kind of got a weaselly voice, though. And if you watch him too much, he's kind of repetitive. But a lot of people like what he says because what's this thing? Facts don't care about your feelings. And he only talks about facts that can be resourced or referenced. So he doesn't just come up with things out of his butt. When do we get to see the sailboat? You must not come around often. The sailboat, I sold that in January. Yes. Do I charge half up front or require full payment up front? I have gotten full payment up front. I'd never asked for it. I do 50%. If it's like a $3,000 job or more, I try to get... No, I don't try. I ask for 50% up front, and they give it to me. Do you take more days off now that you have help from YouTube income? No, I do not. I still film and edit all the time, so I don't have any more days off right now, but I'm hoping that I can take more days off in the future, but it's still quite a bit of work. Let's see here. How many hours a week do you usually work? All of them. All of them. Now, there's tools in your hand work. Hammer, nails, and there's other work to be done running the business. It could be just researching the products that your customer came up with. The wheels are always turning about generating income. So tools in the hand work, sometimes it could be 50 hours, 40 hours. Sometimes you go to work, you only get 6 to 7 hours a day with tools in your hand, but you've been away for 10 hours, 12 hours. Going to get supplies. There's double. What's the next big tool purchase you're thinking about? Well, this was a pretty good size one here. I just ordered a whole bunch. I ordered, I'll go grab them. Sneak peek. Just the people that are watching at 2 hours and 19 minutes. Start with this one. It's still in bubble wrap. Any guesses? Woo! Look at that. Shiny. So this is a base plate for a router table. It's going to go in that leaf over there of the table saw, so I can still use this fence. So I'm going to see. I got this pretty decent Ryobi router. I'm going to try to mount underneath this. So it gets mounted upside down under the table, and you crank it up and down. So this is a tool. And I got some of these. Someone's gonna think I'm sponsored by Craig, but I just went on a little shopping spree on Amazon. So I got these. These are supposed to help you mount the drawer slides. I got a lot of drawers to mount and make. I said, you know what? I don't know what this was. 27, 30 bucks. I'll try it out. And I can give you guys kind of my opinion. A lot of people hated that I made my own jig for handle pulls. Got the Craig jig handle pull kit there. And this one here, I got a lot of doors to make. And this one I really do think is going to come in handy. This is a jig for drilling out your European hinges. What do I usually use? Got a mess out here. And when the video comes out, I'll show you how I usually do. I use it. What the heck is that? The little combination square to set the depth and use your Forstner bit to bore it out. But I'm going to be doing a lot of doors and to have perfect repeat hinge holes. I got this thing right here. And I said earlier that I got, what did I get? 50, 70 feet of hose, some blast gates, and some things to hook that shop back up with this Dust Deputy so that I can have the table saw, the miter saw, and my random orbital sander hooked up to this doohickey. I've had this thing for, I think, almost a year. The Craig Euro jig is the bomb. That's good. That's good. Good feedback for me and everybody who's watching. I've used this Craig jig. I don't say a lot. A lot's a relative term, but I've used this thing quite a bit. The pocket hole jig, and this thing's pretty darn awesome. Works great. Store your stuff in there. Allen wrench goes right there. Oh, I also got this one. This one was pretty expensive. I posted this on my Instagram, but I got this thing all tuned up and squared up and calibrated. So this thing works pretty darn good. A lot of people use a sled or something like this, and they don't use a chop saw much in woodworking shops. A lot of people go to the table saw. I got 70 hose. I got a 50-foot and a 20-foot section. Should all be here on Sunday. I almost, I didn't get the whole, somebody asked about my router lift mount. I cheaped out. And I actually had it in the cart. Actually, I was researching a couple. They're really expensive. Like 250 bucks to 275 bucks. I just got the plate. And I will manually have to go underneath to raise it and lower it. The real nice ones, they have like a whole lift thing. It clamps to your router. And you usually have a little crank that makes the router go up and down. I probably should have just got one of those, but I cheaped out. And I mean, this is still a nice quality router base plate for the table there. But most likely, I'll upgrade to something that you can adjust from the top side and not have to go under the table. Do it again? What? Do your finger in the hole again. These are hilarious. Crack me up. The finger thing. Matt S says you'll hate manually changing it from underneath. I knew as soon as I purchased this, I knew I should just, what is that thing? You buy once, cry once thing. But we'll see how this works. I also have some T-lock things that I'm going to route into that piece of wood there, so I can have like clamp things and feather boards and all that other stuff. A lot of people are saying I'll hate doing it from underneath. Just reading along here. Yep, you'll regret cheaping out. Yeah, I already admit it. It's but we'll see how it goes, and maybe someone else won't make that mistake after watching me struggle with it and cursing at it. How do I keep my workshop so organized? That's a joke. I'm getting there. I'm gonna have to get like a label maker eventually because I have all this storage, but I haven't gotten a system down to where I want everything. I'm really excited about having the drawers on the workbench. I can have the miter saw, I can have my push sticks, my square pencil all right here. So I'm kind of looking forward to getting that all done. Finger thing. All right. I get this question a lot. His name is Just Ant. Getting ready to replace my old green tools, Ryobi. Should I buy DeWalt, Makita, or Milwaukee? They are all good. It's about your battery platform and what tools come on that battery platform. I don't think it's the brand. It's about what tools you can get because you're committing to the batteries is my opinion. So see what else you can get on those batteries. They almost all have everything now. There's things that DeWalt has. I mean, they have a freaking chainsaw now that'll run off the 60 volt flex volt. I mean, I'm sure Milwaukee does too. Exactly. Somebody just looked up here. Milwaukee is, what podcast do you listen to being an entrepreneur? I don't have that much time. I do have a few that I listen to occasionally. There's a lot of bullshit out there. Just regurgitating what someone else says, packaging it up and putting it out in your own words. It's all basically the same. There's really no breakthrough new things out there. It's all basically forcing yourself to work more. How ambitious are you? How many hours are you going to put in this week? Oh, yeah, check the stove. It is getting a little nippy in here, but it's getting late, so I don't think I'm going to put any more wood on it. But I'm going to turn the blower off. Want to see a panorama of the current state of the workshop? I kind of did it today on Instagram. What is new? Well, my box to hold scrap wood, my giant pile of scrap wood. Like I'm hoping to burn through most of all this, God, in a week, and I just want to work out of that box. This thing gonna focus? What the hell? Am I moving it too much? There we go. Yeah, so I really only want that box of scrap wood to burn. This light is now hooked up that old antique chandelier is hooked up. My drawers, nothing real new there. This half sheet of plywood is going to make more drawers. Wonder if I don't think this is long enough to see into this room. Oh yeah, it is kind of long enough to get in here. Hope I don't yank the laptop off there. There's a quick look in there. That wall you're looking at right now is where I'm going to stack my 10 sheets of cabinet plywood. Yeah, that box there is a sailboat transmission. That sink, eventually I want to mount in here somehow, have like running water and a little septic tank for just washing my hands and stuff. But pretty much empty in there. I did some more insulating in this room. I'm thinking about getting rid of those lockers and just going with like some upper cabinets for storage in this room. You like the chandelier over the wood stove? I took that out of someone's house. I've been doing that a lot now. If I get a unique light fixture that someone doesn't want, I'll keep it because I want to like have a bunch of unique things hanging from the ceiling. Let's see here. Catching up while I was talking and pointing the camera around. Oh, somebody asked, did you get rid of the super bright LED lights? So I talked about this earlier. They're still up here somewhere. I mean, I don't know. You can't see them in the screen, right? Well, but they're on their lowest setting right now. So I'm going to turn the dimmer up real quick. Now it's real bright in here. The camera auto adjusts, but you can see how bright it gets before it adjusts. Lowest setting, highest setting. So it's much more manageable in here now, and I don't think it casts all those crazy shadows that they were doing when I had to super, I don't know, they're like 20,000 lumens or something like that. Someone asked about the tool brands. Where is it? Oh, here it is. So there was the Sparky. Are you guys familiar with the Sparky channel? I think it's some old guy. Talks kind of like an old guy. He was reviewing, I think he's probably like in his 60s. This Impact. The battery for you, so it looks complete. I've got quite a few of the 5 amp hours. Actually, I have quite a few of the. I don't think I have them in here. The 1.5 amp hours, but he was comparing this one to the comparable high-end Milwaukee one. This one won the driving, but what it didn't win is the wobble. And yeah, it wobbles. And the Milwaukee didn't wobble in the chuck. I mean, it's got some slop in there, but I don't know how that would really affect impact driving. The Milwaukee, it hooks up to your dang cell phone. And at that point, I was like, man, I'm okay with technology in different settings for different screws, like your sheet metal screws and different RPMs and different impacts per minute. But there's like this crazy amount of settings that you connect your freaking phone to your impact to set, all sorts of crazy parameters. DeWalt does that now too. I was like, man, it's getting a little too crazy. Let's see here. Someone else says, my house heated by firewood. No, but my my workshop kind of is, especially now that I got the ceiling fan. It's still 72 degrees in here, and that fire went out like half an hour ago. Huh? Aaron Singer, who has the USB port to charge your phone from one of these things? I'm looking. Oh, Noto, I gotta go soon. I got a lot of work to do this weekend, so I can't be doing those all-nighters. What has two USBs? I'm trying to catch up here. Who has the charger? Phone charger. Rigid. That's cool. Got to have some way to burn restrictions. I don't have any burn restrictions. All right. My wife is probably wondering what in the hell I'm doing. I've been on here for almost 3 hours. Well, sometime tomorrow, I'm going to dive into the toilet video on the Handyman YouTube channel. I'll probably leave this video up, this live stream, through the end of the day tomorrow, and then goes away. Full send. Did you just join DJ M93? I should have sent out a notification through Instagram. But yeah, I'll leave it up through the end of the day tomorrow, so people who are really interested in what we talked about get a chance. Oh, you just got out of school. That I like what you're going to school for, DJ M93. I'm almost went back to college to do exactly that. I did a lot of research, and I was like, okay, if I'm going to get a second 4-year degree, what's that degree where I can get out and go to work and have a great career and pays good? And the only thing I came up with is what you're going to school for. And that was my backup plan if this handyman remodeling thing didn't work out. Finger. Am I pointing? It's not nice to point. Alrighty. What's he going to school for? Can't give out the secrets. Let's put it this way: my wife went to school for the same thing, and her job is awesome, and she makes a ton of money. Left with a cliffhanger. Nope, not an MBA. 4-year degree, bachelor's. Anyways, I'll leave you guys with that. I gotta get inside. I haven't even eaten dinner yet. She made some good stuff, some sort of shredded chicken barbecue stuff. Interior designer. Jeez. Oh man, that interior designer, you wouldn't believe what her fee was. I'm going to put out a video on this channel. Basically, it's going to be kind of a montage of that remodel with the interior designers and the decorator and all that. I'm going to have to give I have to come out at the very beginning of it and say, I didn't choose any of this stuff. But, okay. See if we can shut this thing down now. Oh, there it is. Good night. Finger thing. You really? It's like I've got a bunch of Beavis and Buttheads watching me do this thing. Jeez. Did it for you guys. Aaron, how do I know you? Because not very many people know what Lupo's char pit is. We have to be related. Aaron, I'm waiting for you to respond. Nurchi's. I know Nurchi's Pizza. Yeah. Actually, the owner of Lupo's comes to visit me. Johnny Lupo. All right. Nurchi's Pizza's it's different. Anyway, we're getting off on a wrong subject here. See you later.